The worship band at Grace Fellowship Nashville just finished their last song, but I can't make myself stand up and face the congregation. Not when half of them know why Roland stopped coming to church. Not when his empty seat next to mine screams louder than any sermon about truth and consequences. 3 weeks since he called me a liar over the phone and hung up while I sobbed into the silence. 3 weeks since my carefully constructed image of the pure church girl waiting for her godly husband shattered like communion wine spilled on white carpet. Pastor Rick is talking about honesty in relationships now. Of course he is. God has a cruel sense of humor that way, making me sit through a sermon about the very thing that destroyed the best man I ever had, Roland, with his software developer job, and his genuine faith, and his willingness to wait for marriage because he thought I was worth it. Because he thought we were equally yoked in our values, because I let him believe I was someone I hadn't been in years. My sister Melissa slides into the pew beside me, late as always. "Where's Roland?" she whispers. "We broke up," I whisper back, keeping my eyes on the hymnal. "What? When? Why didn't you tell me?" Because telling her would mean admitting what I did, what I am. The kind of woman who gives everything to men who treat her like trash, then makes the good ones wait because suddenly she's found religion again, found standards, found a way to rewrite history that doesn't include the years I spent in beds that weren't my own. But let me start from the beginning. Let me tell you how a few technicalities and carefully worded half-truths cost me the only man who ever wanted to marry me instead of just screw me. I met Roland at the medical supply company where I work as a receptionist. He came in to fix our computer system, all focused intensity and quiet competence. Not my usual type at all. I generally went for the flashy guys, the ones with smooth words and wandering hands who knew exactly how to play me. But something about Roland's steadiness drew me in. The way he actually looked at my face when he talked to me, the way he remembered my name after just one visit. "The system should be running smooth now," he said after 3 hours of work. "But here's my card, in case you have any issues." "Thanks," I said, taking the card and noting his long fingers, his clean nails, hands that fixed things instead of breaking them. He hesitated at the door. "This might be inappropriate since I was just here for work, but would you maybe want to get coffee sometime?" Inappropriate. When was the last time a man had worried about being inappropriate with me? Usually they were trying to get inappropriate as fast as possible. "I'd like that," I heard myself say. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into dinner. Dinner turned into long walks around Centennial Park, talking about everything and nothing. Roland was different from any man I'd dated. He opened doors, pulled out chairs, walked on the street side of the sidewalk. Old-fashioned in a way that made me feel valuable instead of like prey. But here's the thing about reinventing yourself. You have to commit to the story. I'd moved back to Nashville 6 months earlier after my life in Atlanta fell apart. 3 years of bad decisions culminating in walking in on my boyfriend Tyler with my roommate in my bed, using the toys I'd bought. The humiliation drove me home to Tennessee, to my childhood bedroom and my mother's disappointed sighs, and the church I'd abandoned when I turned 18. "You need to get right with God," my mother said. "Find yourself a good Christian man who'll treat you proper." So I did. I got right with God, or at least I performed getting right with God. Started attending service every Sunday. Joined the young adults group, deleted my dating apps, and bought dresses that covered my knees. And when Roland asked where I went to church on our 3rd date, I had an answer that lit up his whole face. "Grace Fellowship? I've been meaning to check that out. Mind if I come with you Sunday?" Just like that, I had a good Christian man interested in me. The kind who prayed before meals and talked about waiting for the right person. The kind who kissed me goodbye on my doorstep and never tried to come inside. The kind who would run screaming if he knew what I'd done in Atlanta. Or Memphis before that. Or Nashville the first time, before I thought I needed to leave to become someone different. So when he asked about past relationships on our 5th date, I chose my words carefully. "I've made mistakes," I said, stirring my sweet tea and avoiding his eyes. But I've learned from them. I know what I want now. We all have pasts, he said. What matters is who we choose to be going forward. He made it so easy to let him believe I was choosing to be someone pure, someone worthy of his patience and respect. By week 2, I was introducing him to my friends from church, watching them size him up and nod approval. Finally, Carla's found herself a decent one. Finally, she's done running around with those losers who never called back. By week 3, when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I'd almost convinced myself the past didn't matter, that I could be the woman he thought I was through sheer force of will. But bodies have memory, and mine remembered too much. The first time he tried to deepen our goodbye kiss, I pulled back like I'd been burned. I'm sorry, I said quickly. I want to take things slow. Of course, Roland said, stepping back immediately. Whatever you're comfortable with. Comfortable. I hadn't been comfortable with physical affection since Tyler. Since realizing I'd given 3 years to a man who valued me less than a quick hookup with someone else, every touch felt like a transaction now, and I didn't want to pay anymore. So I made up new rules. No deep kissing, no hands below the shoulders, no being alone in apartments. Rules that would have been a joke to the old Carla, but felt like armor to the new one. I want to wait until marriage, I told Roland on our 4th week together. For sex. For everything physical, really. I know that's old-fashioned, but it's important to me. We were sitting in his car outside my apartment building. He'd just asked if I wanted to come up to his place to watch a movie, and I could see the moment he understood that would never happen. Okay, he said slowly. I can respect that. Can I ask, have you always felt this way? This was it. The moment I should have told the truth. Should have said no. I used to give it away like candy on Halloween, but I'm trying to be different now. Instead, I said the words that would doom us. I've always believed physical intimacy should be saved for marriage. My ex couldn't handle that. It's why we broke up. Technical truths twisted into lies. My ex had pushed for physical intimacy. We had broken up. I just left out the part where I'd given him everything he wanted for 2 years before he got bored and moved on to my roommate. Roland took my hand. I think that's beautiful and rare. I'm willing to wait for the right person. The right person? If only he knew the right person was a fiction I'd created from desperation and church dresses. We fell into a routine. Church on Sundays, dinner with his parents on Wednesdays, date nights on Saturdays that always ended with chaste kisses and him driving away while I stood on my doorstep like a 1950s movie heroine. His mother loved me. Called me a breath of fresh air, after all those modern girls who'd tried to corrupt her baby boy. I'm so glad he found someone with values, she told me over pot roast. Someone pure. I smiled and passed the green beans and tried not to think about the last time someone had called me pure. Tyler, actually. Right before our first time, I love that you're so pure, he'd said, unhooking my bra. So untouched. I'd let him believe it because I thought that's what men wanted. A blank slate to write their own story on. Turned out Tyler just wanted someone naive enough not to notice when he started writing stories with other women too. But Roland wasn't Tyler. Roland was steady and sure and building a future with me in mind. He talked about marriage, not like a maybe, but like a when. Showed me houses for sale in good school districts. Asked what kind of engagement ring I liked. I was thinking a spring wedding, he said one night after dinner. Maybe April? My cousin's getting married in March, so that would give people time between. We'd been together 6 weeks. 6 weeks of him respecting boundaries I'd set based on a person I was pretending to be. 6 weeks of quick kisses and held hands, and me going home to my vibrator because my body didn't understand why I was suddenly celibate. When you grow up in church culture, 6 weeks feels like 6 months. People marry fast when they think God sent them someone. April sounds nice, I said, even as panic clawed at my throat. A wedding meant a wedding night. A wedding night meant no more excuses. But maybe by then I'd want it again. Maybe by then Roland's patience would have healed whatever Tyler broke. Maybe by then the new Carla would be real instead of just a performance. That night, he called me late. We often talked before bed, these long meandering conversations about everything and nothing. But this time he sounded different, nervous. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "And I need you to be honest?" My stomach clenched. "Of course." "Are you attracted to me? Physically?" "What? Of course I am. Why would you ask that?" "It's just, you pull away when I try to kiss you properly. You tense up when I hug you. I'm trying to respect your boundaries, but sometimes it feels like you don't want me to touch you at all." The hurt in his voice killed me. Here was this good man questioning his own desirability because I couldn't figure out how to want him the way I'd wanted men who treated me like garbage. "It's not you," I said. "I just take physical things really seriously. I don't want to get carried away and do something we'll regret." "But we're getting married. What would there be to regret?" I want it to be special, worth waiting for." "You are worth waiting for," he said. "I just need to know you actually want me. That you're not just settling." Settling? If only he knew. I was reaching so far above my station I needed a ladder. "I want you," I said. "I promise. Once we're married, I'll show you how much." A promise I had no idea how to keep. How do you go from nothing to everything overnight? How do you explain that you know exactly what to do because you've done it all before, just not with him? "Okay," he said. "I trust you." Trust. Such a fragile thing. Such a stupid thing to give someone like me. The beginning of the end came 2 weeks later. Another late-night phone call. But this time Roland was the one who sounded different. Thoughtful in a way that made my palms sweat. "My buddy at work is getting divorced," he said. "His wife cheated. He's devastated." That's terrible. The thing is, she says she didn't mean for it to happen, that she loves him and wants to work it out, but he can't get past it. Can't trust her anymore. I made sympathetic noises while my heart hammered against my ribs. Why was he telling me this? It got me thinking about trust in relationships, about honesty. We're honest with each other, right? Of course. And you'd tell me if there was something I should know about your past or anything? This was it, my chance to come clean, to tell him about Tyler and Atlanta and the string of men before that, to explain that I was trying to be different, to be better, to be worthy of him. Instead, I doubled down on the lie. "There's nothing you need to know. I've been completely honest with you." "Good, that's good. With wedding planning and everything, I want to make sure we're starting off right." "We are, I promise." Another promise I couldn't keep. They were piling up now, like credit card debt with compound interest. The real conversation happened a week later. We'd been kissing in his car, the usual quick pecks that left us both frustrated, when he pulled back and looked at me. "Can I ask you something? And please don't be offended?" I nodded, already knowing I'd be offended. "Have you ever done anything? Physically? With anyone?" My heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "I mean, you said you believe in waiting until marriage, but have you always waited? Are you—" Am I what? "A virgin?" The word hung between us like a loaded gun. I could tell the truth now, explain that I'd been born again, made new, all those Christian euphemisms for pretending your past didn't happen. But I looked at his face, so earnest and trusting, and I couldn't bear to disappoint him. "Why does it matter?" I asked, deflecting. "It doesn't. I mean, it shouldn't. The way you talked about your ex pushing for physical stuff and you breaking up over it, and how you've always believed in waiting, I guess I just assumed." He'd assumed. I'd let him assume. At that point, what was the difference between that and a direct lie? "Yes," I heard myself say. "I am." The relief on his face was like a knife to the gut. Oh, good. I mean, not good. That's not what I meant. I want us to be on the same page, to experience everything together for the first time. For the first time. If only he knew my first time was in the back of Darren Mitchell's truck when I was 17. That there'd been so many times since I'd lost count. We will, I said. After the wedding, it'll be perfect. I can't wait to make you my wife, he said, kissing my forehead. To do everything right, the way God intended. God. Always bringing God into it. As if God hadn't watched me do everything wrong for the past decade. I should have ended it there, should have admitted the truth and let him find someone actually pure, actually worthy. But I was selfish. I wanted the future he was offering. The house in the suburbs, the kids who looked like him, the respectability of being Mrs. Roland Cooper. I wanted to believe I could earn it retroactively by being good now, but the past has a way of demanding payment. 3 days later, we were on the phone again. Wedding talk had made him bold, or maybe just curious. So after we're married, he said carefully, what are you comfortable with? I mean, I know you want to wait, but have you thought about after? What do you mean? I just want to make sure we're compatible, that we want the same things. Like what? Well, are there things you're not comfortable with? Things you wouldn't want to try? This was dangerous territory. A virgin wouldn't know what she was comfortable with. But I couldn't help myself. I mean, I guess I'm open to most things, except... Except? Anal, I said without thinking. I don't think I'd ever want to do that. Silence, long enough that I realized my mistake. How do you know? He asked quietly. What? How do you know you wouldn't want to do that if you've never done anything? My mind raced for an explanation. I've heard it hurts. From friends. Friends who've done it? Yeah. But not you. No, never. More silence. I could practically hear him thinking, putting pieces together. Carla, he said finally, I need you to be honest with me. Have you done things with other people? I told you I haven't. You told me you were a virgin, but that's not what I'm asking now. Have you done other things? Oral? Touching? The lies were unraveling. I could feel them pulling apart like a cheap sweater. Why are you interrogating me? I'm not. Something doesn't add up. The way you know what you don't want. The way you pull away from me like you're afraid. That's not inexperience. That's something else. You're overthinking this. Am I? Then answer the question, have you done sexual things with other people? I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't figure out how to make this make sense. I've been celibate, I said finally, for 2 years, since my last relationship ended. Celibate, he repeated. So you have done things before. Yes, but not everything. What did you do? Why does it matter? Because you lied to me. You let me think you were a virgin. I never said that. You said yes when I asked if you were. But I had. I'd said yes, clear as day. What did you do with your ex? He pressed. The one who pushed for physical stuff? Does it really matter? That was before I knew you. It matters because you lied about it. And it matters because you've been with other people but won't even properly kiss me. How am I supposed to feel about that? It's different with you. How? Because I respect you. Because I want to do things right this time. This time, he repeated. So you did things wrong before? I was crying now. Ugly tears that made my nose run. Yes, okay. I did everything wrong before. I gave everything to men who didn't deserve it, and now I'm trying to be better, and you're punishing me for it. I'm not punishing you. I'm trying to understand why you lied to me. Because I knew you'd react like this. I knew you'd judge me. I'm not judging you for having a past. I'm judging you for lying about it. I didn't want you to see me differently. How many people? What? How many people have you been with? I don't know. You don't know? I don't remember exactly. It doesn't matter. It does matter when you're making me wait for something you gave to strangers. They weren't all strangers. That's not the point. Then what is the point, Roland? That I'm not pure enough for you? That I'm damaged goods? The point is you lied. You looked me in the eye and lied. And worse, you made me feel like there was something wrong with me for wanting to be with my girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with you. No? Then why won't you touch me? Why do you flinch when I try to kiss you? If you're so attracted to me, if you want to marry me, why am I getting less than men you didn't even love? Because I love you too much to treat you like them. That doesn't even make sense, Carla. He was right. It didn't make sense. Nothing about my logic made sense. I was punishing him for other men's sins, making him pay for my mistakes. I can't do this, he said quietly. I can't be with someone who lies to me, who makes me follow rules no one else had to follow. Roland, please, do you know what hurts the most? It's not that you've been with other people. I could have handled that if you'd been honest. It's that you gave them everything and give me nothing, like I matter less than they did. You matter more, that's why. No. If I mattered more, you would have told me the truth. If I mattered more, you wouldn't make me feel like I'm begging for scraps of affection. I'm done, Carla. We're done. Roland, wait. But he'd hung up. Left me sobbing into a dead phone line, knowing I'd just lost the best thing that ever happened to me because I couldn't figure out how to balance who I was with, who I wanted to be. I tried to fix it. Showed up at his work the next day with coffee and apologies. He said hi like I was a stranger and walked past me. Sent long texts explaining my past, my pain, my reasons for lying. He read them but never responded. Had my pastor reach out to him about counseling. He politely declined. 3 weeks now. 3 weeks of him being gone and me finally understanding what I put him through. The frustration of wanting someone who doesn't want you back. The confusion of being deemed not worthy of something others got freely. The humiliation of realizing you've been lied to by someone you trusted. Church is letting out now. People filing past with their happy families and their clean consciences. I stay seated until the sanctuary empties, then make my way to the parking lot where my 10-year-old Honda waits between all the SUVs and minivans. My phone buzzes. For a second, wild hope flares that it might be Roland. But it's just Jackson, a guy I met at a bar last week. Been texting since I gave him my number in a moment of weakness and whiskey. Hey, beautiful, still on for tonight? I stare at the message. I could go. Could fall back into old patterns. Could prove Roland right about who I really am. Instead, I delete the text, block the number, drive home to my empty apartment and my empty bed and my empty future. The irony isn't lost on me. I finally found a man worth waiting for, and I made him wait for something I'd already given away. Found someone who would have accepted my past if I'd been honest, and lost him by trying to pretend it didn't exist. My mother calls as I'm making dinner for one. Missed you at Sunday dinner. Where's Roland? We broke up. What? Why? He was perfect for you. I know. What did you do? Because of course I did something. Good men don't leave without reason. I lied to him? About what? About who I am. Oh, Carla, when will you learn? When, indeed. When will I learn that you can't build a future on a foundation of lies? That good men deserve honesty even when it's ugly, that making someone wait for something you gave away freely isn't protecting them, it's punishing them for treating you well? I bet Roland's getting married next year. Not to me. He'll find someone who knows how to want him properly. Someone who doesn't carry her past like a disease. Someone who understands that love means giving more, not less. I'll probably hear about it through church gossip. See the engagement announcement on Facebook. Watch from a distance as he builds the life we planned with someone who didn't lie to him, didn't make him beg for affection, didn't treat him like he mattered less than men who treated her like trash. He was right to leave, right to see through my technical truths to the ugly reality underneath. I was never the pure church girl I pretended to be. I was just a damaged woman who thought she could earn redemption by denying the only man who might have loved her anyway. The men before Roland got my body. Roland got my lies. In the end, no one got my heart, because I was too busy protecting it from someone who never would have heard it in the first place. That's my confession. Not to a priest or a therapist or even to God. Just to an empty apartment and the ghost of what could have been if I'd been brave enough to tell the truth. I made Roland wait for what I gave others freely, and in the end, we both lost everything that mattered.